This conference will now be recorded.
Give a couple minutes. We got a little bit of audio difficulty, so we'll give a couple minutes here to sort that out. I see that changed. The whole logo changed a little bit.
Andrea, can you hear us now?
Send audio. It's telling me I can send an audio pin to it. Oh no. She needs to enter an audio pin.
Nope.
Thanks.
Sure. Good.
All right, I think we're all here, so let's call to order. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Let's see, public forum. Any cards or letters come in the mail? Anybody out there on the virtual wall have something they'd like to say? I'll give a minute. Anybody here in the room? All right, let's close the public forum. We have an agenda in front of us. Looks like a fine agenda. Been informed would like to make one adjustment on that agenda under new business, item 7, adding a B, and that would be Q1 financials. So a little review there. Is there any other changes, suggestions, concerns, or complaints related to the agenda?
No additional stuff.
Nothing additional. All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda with that one addition of 7B for Q1 financials.
I'll make a motion that we approve that with the last minute addendum for the financials.
Thank
I
you.
second that.
Look at that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, very good. We got an agenda in front of us. So let's come down to items A through J. Which have been reviewed previously. Is there any comments, concerns, or any dialogue that needs to occur there? If so, please speak. Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent items.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items as listed, A through J.
I second it.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Those consent items. That's great. Old business, Bachelor d'Or DEA. All right, we're gonna spin over your mark.
So the Bachelor DEA is for any equivalent residential unit. The project is contingent on both the High C and Fagerly lift stations being constructed before sewer is available. The DEA will expire June 1st of 2025 if the sewer system's not donated to the district before then. The DEA has been reviewed by legal and engineering and is recommended by staff for approval.
All right. Any comments or dialogue or questions from my fellow commissioners?
No, I would make a motion that we approve the Bachelor d'Or developer extension agreement.
I second it.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you. Lift station number 7, generator reuse feasibility. Approval for GM to execute. Saw that in the basket today. Fine looking letter.
All right, so the proposal from PACE is to evaluate whether or not we can repurpose a generator that's sitting at one of our no longer in use, waiting to be decommissioned lift stations, and seeing if we can use that at lift station 7. Lift station 7's generators failed, and as well as the transfer switch. So we're looking for a low cost way to make that happen, to repair that. So PACE's proposal includes an electrical evaluation, pre-design, design, and preparation of procurement if needed. And the cost to do this work is $78,418.
Ridiculous generators are not inexpensive.
Designing for them is not. That doesn't include the price of the generator. And trying to make a more modern generator work with a very old lift station is a little bit more complicated than plugging it in. So yeah, district staff recommends the approval of PACE's proposal.
Fellow commissioners, questions? All right, I entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that we authorize the general manager to sign into the contract with PACE Engineering for the upgrade, repair to the lift station generator.
Great, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Moving on to change order number 2. All this stuff's blurring together. The pipe project, time extension, approval for GM to execute.
This change order is a time extension of 14 days for the back pulse pipe of the permeate system at the treatment plant repair. The contractor making the repairs has ran into supply chain issues and asked for a 14-day extension to the contract working time. There are some outstanding issues still. The pipe still leaking after a couple of attempts of repairing. So the engineering team and myself are meeting down at the plant tomorrow to try to get the project closed out. So there may be another change order coming in the future, but district staff recommends approval of the change order number 2 for 14 additional working days.
Okay. Questions, comments from fellow commissioners? I entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that we accept change order number 2, extending the time and having the GM execute that.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. New business A, resolution 1033, sale of surplus personal property.
So resolution 1033 is a resolution to declare surplus our 2 Honda Sonatas that are sitting out in the parking lot. For district purposes, they aren't working as we hoped they would. Most of the time they sit there unused and unoperable. So we'd like to trade them in for a vehicle that will actually work and get us to the bank every day. Typically when we surplus property, we offer it up for public auction. In this case, we'd like to trade them in. We've gotten a few dealerships to give us quotes on trade-in price and believe that will be the best option financially for the district in order to replace those.
Batteries go dead or what?
Yeah, because they're hybrids and it just sucks off battery life because we don't drive them enough. Even if we do drive them, it's only a few miles and it's not enough for the regenerative.
We're gonna go for a dead dinosaur car this time. We'll see.
More of an electric that we could plug in
Okay.
and keep charged, was the idea. So anyways, this resolution 1033 has been reviewed by legal and is recommended by staff.
Fellow commissioners, questions?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 1033, authorizing the sale of such surplus property.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Okay. 7B, that gets us down to Q1 financials, this beautiful package right here. It feels like an A.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Melanie is going to help me by sharing a PowerPoint up there. We're going to go over the quarter one, just the highlights here of what's been going on January, February, March. If anyone has any questions, there'll be time at the end, but also feel free to stop me as we go if anything comes up.
Sounds good.
There we go.
Even a PowerPoint, look at this. Right.
So in the packet that you have, and I'm sorry, it was a little late getting it to everyone. Page 1 is our cash investment balance report. Everyone's pretty familiar with that. It shows the cash on hand. Sorry. No, you're fine. Page 2 and 3 in your packet, I'm going to skip over a little bit, but I encourage you to look at this one as you have the chance. This is more broke down. It's our 7-month trend. And I really do enjoy this one. It's nice to see the dips and the increases month to month. We're going to start more on page 4, though, of what's in your packet. Some of the highlights of our revenue in the first quarter. I'm going to start with schools. The revenue for the schools was up 353%. This definitely, COVID had such an impact on our schools for us. 2021, just with people being remote, they were down quite a bit. I do want to point out there was a large water leak at Lake Stevens Middle School in February that created quite a bit higher bill than normal. We did get that resolved with them. They found it was coming from a sprinkler, so we've credited $1,200 back. A lot of that water was not treated by us. So we did credit that back in July, so we'll see that. Our permit fees are definitely down. We're down 57%. To give you an idea, the end of 2021, we had sold 380 permits. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble seeing this. We're at 138 permits at the end of March. So it is significantly down there. Our other revenue, you're going to see that's up 63%. This is going to even out in April. We do a yearly pretreatment billing. And we did that due to staffing issues. We billed it in March rather than April. So you will see in April that get back to where it should be. If you go down to the bottom there, you're going to see our overall total revenue. We're down 84%. This is greatly due to connection fees. We are down from 2021. We've received $360,000 by the end of March. Same time last year, and this can vary month to month, but the same time last year, we were at about $2 million. And again, this is something we've expected and planned for as buildable land goes away. Going on to our next one, this just shows a little better what is going on with the schools. Again, February, so 2022, the blue being what January, February, March, we were billing the schools as opposed to the gray when they were remote, not in service. And again, that February has adjusted a little due to the water leak, but definite impact there due to COVID. Getting into some of our expenses here, which are on page 5 if you're following along. It's not one of my boxes there, but I want to point out the utilities. We're going to circle back to that later, but we did have, with Puget Sound Energy, we had budgeted $12,000 for the year, and as of March, we'd actually spent $12,088. We had some boilers that were not working at the plant, and we had to run natural gas January, February, March. So our bills are normally $900 a month. They were about $4,000 a month for those 3 months. So it's not showing in this big group there, but you will see it as we break it apart further down. Our equipment and supplies is down almost 62%. In 2021, we had some larger repairs. We had a pump rebuild. We did some screen and washer preventative maintenance. Our software support, that looks shocking. That is up 1,500%. That is, we started breaking apart. We used to put all the software support into admin. We now break it apart by department. So some's going into the treatment plant, some's going into operations where it should be. So that looks a little scarier than it actually is. Our facility services is down 73%. Again, in 2021, we had quite a bit of work going on with common engineering. We were doing some generator research, migration work. So that looks like why that's such a dip this year. Same with lab, we were doing wet testing in 2021, so we're down about 62% there. You will see our salaries were up almost 25% for the treatment plant. And again, this is just the treatment plant expenses at this point. We had a long-term employee leave, and in February, that was wrapping that all up. So that did change the salaries at that point. Again, those should even back out the rest of the year. Going on to our next slide, maintenance and collections, which is about halfway down the page now on page 5. Our maintenance of lines was down 97%. Really last year, again, it goes back to, we had the Vernon Road emergency. We had some extra CCTVing of lines, 17th Place Northeast. Our city lift station maintenance is up 715%. So lift station 1, we had some generator repairs, new exhaust. So that was a significant expense there. Our field building maintenance up 200%. We added janitorial down there. So that's mostly what that is. Our system expense, we're up 483%. We did have a new push cam for our CTV truck. I believe that hit in January, and that was about a $12,000 purchase. So that was a big ticket item. Not planned for there. Our safety is down 61%. Again, this is a timing thing. We do a yearly fire extinguisher inspection, and it was done in April rather than March. So it's that, again, will even out in March. Our operating licensing and permits were down by about 64%. This is largely due to, again, a timing issue of our wastewater permit. That permit is about $14,000. Normally it's paid somewhere around November. And due to a billing, I'm sure COVID was related in there, we did not get billed for that until February of 2021. So it hit in there where normally we would have paid that in November of 2020. So the money was there sitting for it, but it's hitting in 2021 instead. Our dues, certs, and subscriptions are up about 72%. WWCPA and wet renewals, a lot of those hit. Also with our training, with COVID, so much of that was not happening, which is happening a little more. The next two pages, 6 and 7, is just a breakdown a little more. Again, review this as you have time. Cost per customer, it breaks it down. Page 8 is something I want to point out. With everything going on, we are actually hitting about almost $360,000 under budget at the end of March of where we expected to be. We had budgeted, it comes out to about $2,073,706 for the 3 months, and we were actually at $1.7 million. So we're about 4% under budget. We expect to spend 25% of the budget. We were at 21% of the budget by the end of March. The next couple pages breaks down a little more. I can kind of go a little more in depth into some of those that you'll see here. And these are the breakdown categories of those first original ones that we've gone over. About halfway down, the admin expenses, computer maintenance was up 41%. Again, timing, our annual archiving hit in March rather than April. Computer software being up 25%. We added just Voya that hit in that first quarter. Our Vernon Business Center facility maintenance, we had some fire and security installation. Our property taxes, that again is timing. Right. Down towards the bottom in advisor expenses, our outside help, we had a payroll person leave at the end of last year. And so there was some contracting, bringing in to train the next person for that. So that budget is up. We spent a little more in there than we expected. The bond issuance, we pay once a year and we've paid it for the year. On our next page, lift station 12, our maintenance, we were up about 56%. There was a repair to a bridge crane in there. Lift station 15, 41%, we had some new air filter kits, a relay switch. The big one is going to be our other city lift station maintenance. Excuse me, I believe it's actually city lift station 1 maintenance. We had the generator repair there, and that was the new exhaust. That one's up 157%. Decant facility, that's something new to us. It looks like it's up quite a bit. It actually, the total dollar amount is not that much. We had some cement blocks we put in, I believe, for parking. Maintenance and collection, that one is up quite a bit, 45%. That's where the new push cam for the CCTV hit. Our field vehicle equipment being up a bit. We had a Vector nozzle skid. We had a dolly for our trailer caddy. And again, our vehicle expenses, we had some service to the ProMaster, new tires for our CCTV, and gas prices. It's wonderful gas prices. Page 11, if you're following along. Treatment plans, you'll see there definite large increase in the vacation payout. That was the long-term employee leaving. Our natural gas, here's where you see the breakout. It's about a quarter way down the page. That's up 101%. That is the boilers that were broken. And again, that Puget Sound Energy where we had to run it for the 3 months. Biosolids is up, that is expected, and we expect that to continue going up. Millipore, our lab dewatering system, you'll see that one's up 58%. That's actually due to, we had some invoices that were unpaid from the year past that never got to us, and we cleaned that all up. So we actually had August, September, October of 2021, some invoices that had never made it through our AP. So that is up a bit due to that. Our final page is the capital, which not a ton new to report there, which is nice. It's moving along. Everything's on track there. Does anyone have any questions on anything or want me to go a little more in depth on anything? I can.
Fellow commissioners, any?
No, I think great job. I mean, easy to follow and take a look at the stuff. I mean, the reality is we're under budget. So that's, while we do have some percentages that are a lot higher, we're still under budget. So that, the bottom line there, that's what makes it nice.
Any further questions? I appreciate the review. Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to item number 8, general manager report.
I just wanted to report, I was one of 14 folks in the state with WCIA that's completed the risk management credentialing program. So that's good for the district. And then we also have our management staff and some safety emergency coordinators attended a statewide earthquake response seminar specific for water and wastewater industry.
Duck and cover.
Duck and cover. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. We did get to hire a seasonal worker at the wastewater treatment plant, and he started on July 1st. So that's working out well for us. We held interviews yesterday for a wastewater treatment plant operator and made a contingent offer today. So excited about that opportunity. We also plan on opening up for a lab analyst to do some training prior to a retirement at the end of the year. So that position should be opening up before the end of the month. And then for our KPIs, 2.57 million gallons a day is our flow down at the plant. And just wanted to point out the good work that's happening down there at the plant. Our electrical use is down by 10% from June of 2021 to June of this year. So that's not insignificant. It's about a $5,000 savings between what we paid last June and this June. So a lot of work that they're doing with the blowers and how we're running the air and running the plant is showing some good success. Also, for our total inorganic nitrogen, we're at 38% of the year-to-date limit. June was just over 10,000 pounds for the month. So we're on track again. Doing great.
We're ahead of track.
We are ahead. We're at 38%. So great job.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions, comments? No? All right.
Excellent work. Thank you.
Like Michelle touched on, the district's collected 49 GFCs to date and issued 138 permits. So the lift station 2C project we're wrapping up 90% complete plans for the station upgrade. Have a QC meeting with our engineers next week on that. The gravity and force main, we still have some, I'm meeting with the engineering team on site on tomorrow, to discuss some potential conflicts with the bridge at 20th and Hartford Road. See if, explore a couple options we have there. The 24th and SR9 pipe crossing is substantially complete. WashDOT's contractor ICI completed the carrier pipe, and I believe are putting in the PVC sewer main in that carrier pipe this week or next. Had a pre-construction meeting for the SR9 with WashDOT for the SR9 204 rehab and roundabouts, and that work's anticipated to start was anticipated to start the 18th of this month, but there's still a couple of utility conflicts that appears that may delay the start date a little bit on that. Yeah, that's all I've got.
Can't wait to zip through 3 roundabouts in a row coming off Davies. Zing, zing, plus a bow tie one. So
Yeah.
what can go on? All right, great. Well, thank you. That brings us to the city report. Anybody out there or in here would like to?
City Administrator Gene Brazel's on vacation this week, so I don't know, did he send anything?
Oh, we went someplace fun. Okay.
The only thing I'd have to say probably is Tuesday night, you may have read in the Herald today, the City Council passed a resolution to place Transportation Benefit District 0.2% sales tax increase on the ballot this November. And for the purpose of helping with maintenance and also improving our roads, sidewalks, walkways, trails. We expect to generate about $19 million over 10 years. It does have a sunset to it, so that if we're not doing the appropriate job in fulfilling those obligations, then the city citizens can certainly not extend that. So it does have a 10-year sunset on it. We ask for your support on that, and there'll be more information coming out about it as we go along. That's probably the highlight of the week for us. So,
That's a big deal.
yeah, and Commissioner Lawrence and I are continuing our work on the sewer merger assumption situation. So we have a couple more meetings planned, one later today and another one next Wednesday.
We're rooting on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, Commissioners report. Let's go to the magic wall. How about Commissioner Wright? Why don't you lead us off?
My only report is just thank you so much for the detailed budget analysis. I thought that was really helpful and very impressive to stay under budget when so many things kind of, were out of the ordinary. And that's all I have to report right now. I'll be back in town in a week and a half and look forward to seeing you in person.
Sounds great. Thank you. Commissioner Lawrence?
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I couldn't join you in person this morning. I was not feeling well. And so I don't know if something, like COVID hit me or not. I haven't tested myself in that. So I didn't want to be that spreader and cause the whole office to evacuate or something like that. So, but I do appreciate all the hard work everybody's doing. It shows because, when you look at our budgets and everything else, while we still have some percentage overages here and there, we're all still looking at the bottom line. So with the great staff, they're all taking a look and making sure that, we stay under budget and we, are responsive to the dollars that, these ratepayers have entrusted us. So I appreciate all the hard work on there. The 49 GFCs, I think 49 or 48, does that include the 2 improper GFCs that we had just collected from? Or I don't know if that was connections, I guess we had, but
I don't believe that number reflects the illegal connections that we recently received payment for.
okay, yeah, every bit helps when we have to meet a certain amount each year. So, but thank you everybody for the great work you're doing. It's much appreciated, and I did like the budget. Great job there, Michelle. I know that you get a little nervous sometimes, but you do an excellent job. So, yeah, I really appreciate all the work you put in. And that's it.
All right, well, thank you. And my only comment is similar. The plant, 10%, when we're talking about, savings are always wonderful in terms of finding efficient ways to save a couple dollars. But when we're in this type of inflationary environment, that makes a huge difference because that will offset whatever PUD is going to provide us and keep that line item even or even down. So that's a big deal. So tip my hat, folks, to the plant. our field folks or our collection folks, I have the smallest amount of understanding and appreciation for the menagerie of age of gear and the dynamics that go with keeping that together. And we see glimmers of it each time we talk about upgrading or being able to, the generator and can't be compatible with the 1972 circa Rev 86A transfer switch or whatever. And I know that takes a great amount of skill and flexibility and just aptitude to be able to problem solve on the fly. And so acknowledgement there. And then our admin staff, I know Michelle gets all the glory when it comes time to review the financials and enjoys that responsibility. But I know there's it's a recognition of all the people behind it day in and day out, from collecting the payments out of the box all the way through being able to process that and make sure it's tight and right. So thank you there. Okay, well that concludes commissioners' reports. And do we have an executive session today?
Yes.
Okay.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, all right. So according to the atomic clock, we're coming up on 40 minutes after the hour. Why don't we say till, I don't know, what, 10 till, 5 till, 5 till the top of the hour? That work for everybody? All right, and Mrs. Jordan, can I have you do the, give you the line?
Yeah, absolutely. Was it 9:55?
9:55.
Okay. The Lake Stevens Sewer District Commission will now move into executive session pursuant to RCW 4230-110 subsection 1 subsection I to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to pending litigation to which the agency is or is likely to become a party. The executive session will conclude at 9:55 a.m. At the conclusion of the executive session, the commission will adjourn the board meeting with no related announcements or action taken.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Give a couple minutes to depart and lock down.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, as promised, we're back at out of executive session at 55 after the hour. There are no decisions to be made or votes to be taken. And with that, I think that runs the full length of our agenda. Unless there's something else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right.
I
Thanks, everybody.
second that.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.